Today we are going to learn about conditional sentences. There are three types of conditional sentences and we are going to learn them one by one. Conditional sentence type 1. Pattern. If simple present plus simple future, or in other words, if plus subject plus verb 1, then subject plus will plus infinitive. Conditional sentence type 1 is also called possibility. Why? Because it shows there is a high chance or about 90% of chance that something will happen in the future when the condition is fulfilled. I will show you with some examples. First examples, if I have money, I will buy a new house. It means that there is a possibility for me to buy a new house, or I may buy a new house when I have money. When I still don't have the money, I won't buy that new house. Now, second example. If you are not late, the teacher will not punish you. It means that perhaps the teacher will not punish you when you do not come late, or in other words, you come to the class on time. So, if you don't want the teacher to punish you, don't come late to class. Have you understood about conditional sentence type 1? If yes, now let's proceed to conditional sentence type 2. Pattern. If simple past plus past future, or in other words, if plus subject plus verb 2, then subject plus would plus infinitive. Conditional sentence type 2 is also called present unreal condition because the sentence shows that the reality in the present is different. I will show you with examples. First, if I were you, I would not move to Jakarta. It means that in reality, you have moved to Jakarta. And it also refers that I'm not you. So, I don't follow you to move to Jakarta. Now, second example. If the woman knew the secret, she would be angry. It means that the woman do not know the secret in the reality. So, she is not angry. Now, time for conditional sentence type 3. Pattern. If past perfect plus past future perfect, or in other words, if subject plus had plus verb 3, then subject plus would have plus verb 3. Conditional sentence type 3 is also called past unreal condition. It is just like the second type. It shows different reality but in the past. Examples. If they had visited Bali, they would not have asked me about Bali. It means that they didn't visit Bali. Because I'm the one who went to Bali, so they asked me about it. Now, second example. If he had been angry, he would have stopped talking to you. It means that yesterday maybe or 2 days ago, he was actually not angry to you. Therefore, he didn't stop talking to you, or he kept talking to you. The next slide is a diagram which summarizes conditional sentences. You can see there is a horizontal line which divides if clause with the fact or reality. Then the first vertical line represents the first type of conditional sentence. It uses simple present and shows a possibility that something will likely to happen in the future. Now, the second vertical line represents the second type of conditional sentence. This second type uses simple past, but it has a different reality in the present. So we have to state the reality in form of simple present tense. The arrow shows the difference. If the conditional sentence is positive, the fact is negative. If the conditional sentence is negative, the fact is positive. How about the third line? The third line represents the third type of conditional sentence. It uses past perfect, but it has different reality in the past. Therefore, we need to use simple past to represent the fact from the third type of conditional sentence. The arrow shows, just like the second type, if the conditional sentence type 3 is positive, the fact is negative. If the conditional sentence type 3 is negative, the fact is positive. Do you understand now the first, second, and third type of conditional sentence? Now, let's continue to conditional sentence without if. So actually, we can omit if from the sentence. It can happen for type 2 and type 3 only. For type 2, I will give you an example. If she were diligent, she would finish her homework on time. Just omit if, and then you inverse the position of were and the subject. So the sentence will be, were she diligent, she would finish homework on time. Another example, if Titi were not lazy, she would study hard. Omit if and then inverse the position Titi and were, become were Titi. The sentence, were Titi not lazy, she would study hard. Conditional sentence type 3 without if. Some examples. First, if Mr. Kunchoro had not loved Titi Sari, he would not have married her. Omit if, and then inverse the position of Mr. Kunchoro and had. Become had Mr. Kunchoro. Complete sentence. Had Mr. Kunchoro not loved Titi Sari, he would not have married her. Second example, if Zainal Abidin had been on a date with Ranti, he would have kissed her. Omit if and then inverse the position of Zainal and had. Become had Zainal. Complete sentence. Had Zainal been on a date with Ranti, he would have kissed her. Now we are going to learn about unless or if not. So actually in a conditional sentence we can replace if and not with unless. I'll give you some example. First, if you had not been lazy, the boss would not have decreased your salary. We have if and not. In the if clause, we can replace them with unless. So the sentence will be, unless you had been lazy, the boss would not have decreased your salary. Second example, if you did not take my umbrella, I would not get caught in rain. We can replace if and not with unless. Unless you took my umbrella, I would not get caught in rain. Third example, if they didn't repair the fan, the classroom would be very hot. We have if and not. Replace them with unless. Unless they repair the fan, the classroom would be very hot. Do you understand now? Time for exercises. For the first exercises, you have to mention the type of the following conditionals. For example, number 1, if you had done as I told you, you would have succeeded, because it uses past perfect, had done, and past future perfect, would have succeeded. Number 1 is conditional sentence type 1. Please do for number 2 until number 6. Second exercise. Please supply the blanks with if or unless in the following sentences. Number 1, he wouldn't have waited blah blah blah, you'd been late. The answer for number 1 is he wouldn't have waited unless you'd been late. Please do for the rest. Exercise 3. What do the sentences mean? In this exercise, you need to decide what the sentences mean. For example, number 1, he will come if you wait. The sentence means that it is possible for him to come to your party on the condition that you wait for him. Please do so for number 2 until number 8. The last exercise. Complete the following sentences with your own word. Example number 1. If your message had not come, I would have waited for you for 3 hours. Please do for the rest. Thank you everyone for learning conditional sentence with me. See you next time.